And now to the business report with Joel Crossgill.
Lots to share with you in the business report today about a pipe dream made into a reality with the turn of a valve for a project that is hoped will have a cascading effect on agricultural productivity in Jamaica's southern plains, as the long-awaited Parnassus irrigation system and Agro-Park in Clarendon was officially unveiled.
Well, let me tell you that this is not a facade. When I turn this pipe, this valve, you will see water. And this water is what will be the basis on which the agricultural park will flourish. This symbolic turning of this valve represents the fruition of the good support, development support from the United Kingdom, almost $4 billion in support, in addition to the resources of the government of Jamaica and the technical expertise and management of the government of Jamaica to bring this all together so that the farmers can finally have irrigation in their fields.
As mentioned by the Prime Minister, the transformational project was made possible in large part due to the $3.5 billion Jamaican dollars in grant funding provided by the UK government through its UK Caribbean Infrastructure Fund. As British High Commissioner to Jamaica, Judith Slater describes its support of high-quality, climate-resilient infrastructure that drives economic growth and has lasting social impact.
This is the culmination of a huge amount of work, as many of you here today know. And it's the first of what I hope will be a number of celebrations, Minister Green is nodding, over the coming months as the rest of this project comes on stream. So that's at Amity Hall and Essex Valley in addition to Parnassus. And we're standing in a place where once fields were difficult to irrigate, where access to technology was limited. Today, with innovation and partnership, we're opening the way to harvest opportunity, turning challenges into growth. And the UK government is proud to have funded this vital agricultural development project, which speaks directly to the needs of Jamaica. As we all know, agriculture is the backbone of Jamaica's economy, and so this project is a really important part of the UK Caribbean Infrastructure Fund portfolio. The fund, which was launched in 2016, provides £350 million, or 72.3 billion Jamaican dollars, in grant funding across the Caribbean. But Jamaica is the joint largest beneficiary with an allocation of 11 billion Jamaican dollars.
Dr. Darren Newman, advisor to the Vice President of the Caribbean Development Bank, of which Jamaica is a 17% shareholder, framed the project as the representation of a shared vision for a climate-resilient and food-secure country.
Let today mark a turning point, not just for this community, but for the region, and the Caribbean Development Bank stands behind that. We look forward to the farmers using the investments to fuel intergenerational prosperity, to build a legacy of resilience and equity and prosperity that will nourish us for decades and decades to come. Thank you so much for making this investment a catalyst for a more food security Caribbean, one farmer at a time.
Anita Facey is one such farmer who, having benefited from the new lease agreements, was effusive in her praise.
It is with humility that I stand here today on behalf of my fellow land lease recipients, expressing appreciation to the Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining, the British High Commission, the Agro-Investment Corporation, the National Irrigation Commission, and all the other key stakeholders and agencies who have provisioned us the opportunity to access not just land, but also a new start for Jamaican farmers. Saying thanks to the agencies involved in this historical occasion is just mere words, but our true gratitude will be seen in heightened production and increased economic development.
One that favours inclusivity, according to Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining, Floyd Green.
Let me highlight, we are not displacing the farmers that were there. Very important. We have reserved of the 700 acres, at least half of it, to ensure that the farmers who were there, along with youth, women, and persons with disabilities, they will have priority access to these lands.
With nearly 400 hectares of irrigated farmlands, 12 kilometres of newly built roads, almost 14 kilometres of pipeline, as well as 9.6 million gallons of water supplied daily, the project has increased the percentage of irrigated arable lands in Jamaica to approximately 15%. However,
that's still not enough. I want you to consider what that means. It means that you can only exercise some degree of control over your agriculture in only 15% of your arable land. And when we do Pedro Plains, which is well on its way, we would have moved our irrigated lands to being about 50% of our arable lands. Can you imagine the fundamental shift in our agricultural productivity when we are able to mitigate and control for weather impacts on our arable land?
Prime Minister, I know you will be happy to know, because you have directed that this must be so, that in all our new agro-parks, they must have irrigation, they must have a good road network, but additionally, they must have storage and packing facilities. We are going to move to construct storage and packing facilities so that in times of glut, we can store, extend the shelf life, and serve our people.
and that was your business report. I'm Joel Crosskill.